Hello everybody, welcome back to the Traxion YouTube channel. Now the Season 4 build on iRacing has just been released and we've already taken a look at the new Porsche 911 Cup car. Well, today we're going to be having a look at two of the new pieces of content, and that is the Hungaroring and the new Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo. So one other thing I'm really keen to test is the new GT3 tyre model. Now for Season 4, all GT3s have been given a new tyre model, and iRacing tell us that they're going to behave differently on the limit. Now, the tyre model on iRacing has been criticised by many because you get to the limit and then there's no going beyond that. You're generally off track. So it'll be really interesting to see if iRacing have caught up with the likes of ACC, Race Room and R Factor with that on the limit feel. So enough talking, let's have a look at the Hungaroring, the Ferrari GT3 Evo and the new tyre model. So here we are then on track here at the Hungaroring. Now this isn't a track that I'm that familiar with, so it'll be a good chance for us to do a couple of laps and have a look at the circuit and see how it's modelled. Now, like everything now on iRacing, everything's laser scanned, so this is as accurate as it can be, or as accurate as you'll probably get on any other simulator. So we'll talk about the car after we've had a look at the circuit. Now, as usual, everything looks beautiful. There's no crowds here now because we're in a test session. So it gives us a chance to have a look at the grandstands and see what the likes. We've got the cranes there for the TV crew. Everything looks really nice. The colours look really nice, actually. So everything. The road surface and the concrete on the side. Everything looks really nice. The heat haze looks good. You can just see it on the top of the bridge there. Although I do have my graphics settings up quite high. So this is probably as good as you're going to get iRacing to look. Everything looks really, really sharp. Flags waving there. I like these bits here. They're like the shaded bits under the trees where the lighting's different. That's nice. Looks good. The car sounds the same. Just mention the car real quick. It sounds the same as the old one. Circuit looks beautiful. There's not really much out this back end here. Apart from trees. More grandstands. Looks good though, doesn't it? Looks really nice. I was on the Assetto Corsa version when I first got Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I did enough laps to get my track stars, and then I never touched the Hungaroring again, so I can't remember what it's like to drive, and I've certainly never raced around here in a GT3 car. So the racing will be interesting. There appears to be lots of turns, like a flow. So overtaking is going to be quite difficult. This looks really good though. You can see it's rendering the grandstand off into the distance over there, the back of the pit wall. You can't really see it just yet. Can you see it there? Just. You'll see it now come into view. There it is. That's the back of the grandstand. It looks really nice. Again, iRacing do a top job now with the well, they've always done a top job, but now with the advances in the developments they've made to the game engine, things just look really, really good compared to the older circuits on the service, such as Summit Point and Laguna Seca and tracks like that. Just shows what they can do. Right, so let's have a look at the car. It sounds very similar to the old one. There is a gearbox whine now that I couldn't really hear on the old car. Brakes are squeaking, they're still cold. Now there haven't been that many changes, so fundamentally the car is very similar to the old 488 GT3. So the Evo has got a longer wheelbase now, which makes converting these cars to GT spec much easier. Changes to the front grille where they fitted new gurney flaps. There's The doors are at a different angle for aerodynamic purposes. Same with the wings. They're slightly different. Traction control has been updated. ABS has been updated. So it is a new car, but it's remarkably similar at the moment to the old one. Now, there have also been changes to the tyre model in iRacing on the roadside. I'm really interested to see what that's like when we start to pick up the speed a little bit, because one of the criticisms that iRacing has always had really is that people can't drive beyond the limit, and maybe you shouldn't drive beyond the limit. That's always been my argument. Find the limit and stick within it. But people like to find the limit and go over it slightly. Just makes things a little bit more forgiving. And to be honest, that can't be a bad thing, because it will keep people on track for longer. And it's all about the experience, isn't it? So if you can stay on track for longer and the car's moving around a bit more, a little bit easier to control, then it's going to keep people entertained for longer. So yeah, the levels of grip on the limits, especially with oversteer, have always been a criticism of people on iRacing. Right, so let's pick up the pace a little bit now. I've got an idea of where the track goes. I don't know where to brake for turn 1 though. It seems about right. Now, I'm not going to push it too much right now. I just want to try and get a nice lap in. We can see how it feels. Oh, that's a wicked corner, that one. Yeah, you can feel it moving around a little bit though still, the car. The tyres should be up to temperature now. Yeah, it moves around a lot more than it used to. And that's a good thing. I do like cars that move around a bit as you're driving. That's why you never really see me driving high downforce cars, really, because I like that feeling of the car starting to move and you can manipulate it with the brake and the accelerator. I do like that. I mean, a GT3 car is not going to be as pronounced as that. It's not going to be like a touring car on Race Room or one of the other cars on Automobilista or something like that, but if we can kind of get somewhere near there, then that will be a massive leap forward with regards to the tyre model. But initial impressions, car feels really good. Really planted, really stable. Hasn't misbehaved. This isn't the fastest lap. What's it going to be? A predicted lap of 48 or lap time of 1:48.36. Right, I've no idea. I really don't have any idea where that lap time is. Probably miles off. Let's try and get the car to misbehave a little bit now and see what this tyre model is like compared to the old one. Yeah, so she's sliding around a bit there. Yeah, that's communicated through the force feedback as well. Curbs were always an issue with iRacing, going over the curbs. You know, and then getting on the gas really early, and that would usually unsettle the car and end in disaster. So far so good. Yeah, the car is moving around a bit more than I remember it doing in the old Ferrari. I can't remember the old Ferrari wanting to just snake round and lose a little bit of traction, but it actually feels really nice. Right, let's try and push it a little bit more now. So there's a good chance that we're going to spin. But we want to test the tyres, don't we, and see what the they perform like. So on the gas full there. No hint of oversteer planted. That's a 46 lap. Again, no idea where that is. But we're not too bothered about lap times. Just want to see what things like. So stamp on the gas. Didn't wheel spin there. Again, the brake really late. Try and unsettle the car. No. Right. This is where it started to slide before. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. I'm driving like a hooligan now, so I'm doing it on purpose, guys. Just trying to be quite erratic with my inputs. Yeah, still then, I would change direction pretty quickly there. And that would normally have spelled disaster, I'm almost certain. It started to go there. And then decided, no, I'm staying online. I'm not going to spin now, Dave. You're in good hands. I'll look after you. Hey, you can feel it sliding around that last turn there. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Really impressed. The car feels good. The car feels really good. It feels really planted, and I think with it having a longer wheelbase, it's going to be stronger at certain circuits than it was, or different circuits than it was. I think the BMW in Season 3 was really strong at Interlagos because it had a longer wheelbase. This could be a similar story. And if it's more in line with the GTE, then that can't be a bad thing. But fundamentally, it's the same car with some small tweaks that hopefully should make a big difference to how it performs over a season at different racetracks. It'll be interesting to see how it compares and how it competes with the BMW, which has been strong of late, and the Lamborghini in iRacing is always really strong. So it will be really nice to have another car that's up there, trying to challenge those other two cars to be top GT3, to be top dog. Just hope to get the balance of performance right, and if they do, then I think we could be in for a fantastic season. I really do. Because the car feels incredible. No complaints with it at all. I think if it wasn't a brand new car, I don't think the leap is that far that you would buy this if you already had the 488 GT3. If that was still in a series racing, then I don't think this is that different to warrant the extra purchase. But because this is replacing the 488 GT3, this is going to be the new Ferrari in the GT3 class, in the fixed Ferrari series and in the other GT3 series, then you've got no option really if you want to drive Ferrari. It's not a bad option really. There's definitely worse cars in the GT3 class than this. This feels really good, and this is on the iRacing provided setup, so obviously it'll feel different when we get some aftermarket setups. The car will liven up a little bit more, I believe. Top job iRacing though. Top job. So we've looked at the track, the car, and the new tyre model. So we'll start with the track first of all, the Hungaroring. What do I think? Well, as usual, iRacing have knocked it out the park. It looks incredible. The lighting's superb. The modelling is fabulous. I've never raced the track before, so I don't know what it's going to be like. There doesn't seem to be many overtaking places. So it looks like it's going to be one of those circuits where you're going to have to figure out a way past and set and overtake up 2 or 3 corners in advance. But to be fair, that's my kind of racing. I like that. The car, the 488 Evo, what do I think? Well, it's not the massive leap forward that you might expect. If you've already got the 488 GT3, then this is going to feel really similar. There have been some changes. The TC, the ABS, longer wheelbase, aerodynamics, so there are changes. And no doubt this is going to be up the sharp end of the grid with the BMW, Porsche, Lamborghini. So it's good to know that there's going to be 4 new manufacturers on the iRacing service in the GT3 class. So the car, happy days. So onto the tyre model. Well, I think this is a massive leap forward for iRacing. It does feel a lot more controllable on the limits. It wasn't as noticeable in the Porsche Cup car because that was a brand new car. The Ferrari Evo is very similar to the 488 GT3, so the changes in the tyre model were much more noticeable when I was driving around. On the limits, it felt much more controllable, and those occasions when I went over the limits, it slid, I was able to catch it, it was communicated well through the force feedback. So the tyre model is a massive leap forward, and I'm a huge fan. So there we go, thank you for watching. I'm now going to go and turn all of these lights off and go and find a race in the 488 Evo. As always, thanks for watching. Keep it pinned. See you later. Cheers.